Today we're here at Oshkosh 2022 and we're going to check out one of my favorite airplanes, the A-10 Warthog, with my buddy Aldo. Let's get this started.
You can run on for a long time, run on for a long time, run on for a long time. Sooner or later gotta cut you down, sooner or later gotta cut you down. Go tell that long-tongued liar, go and tell that midnight rider, tell the rambler, the gambler, the backbiter, tell him that God's gonna cut him down, tell him that God's gonna cut him down.
So Aldo, how long have you been flying the A-10 Warthog and how do you like it?
I've only been flying the Warthog for about a year, and you couldn't pry me out of this cockpit. It's my favorite airplane, and I don't really want to fly anything else.
That's awesome. How many hours do you have flying your A-10?
I've got about 230 hours right now, and that's, I'd say about average is about 250 a year for a younger guy.
So Aldo, can you show us some of the cool features of the A-10?
Yeah, we'll start up front with the GAU-8 Avenger. All right, so this is the GAU-8 Avenger. As you've heard probably that the aircraft was built around this gun. So it weighs roughly 5,000 to 6,000 pounds when fully loaded, which is about a third of the empty weight of the airplane. We carry 1,150 rounds of 30 millimeter. Stand by one. So this is the empty casing for a 30 mil. The bullet tip would be about another 4 inches on top. So we fire 3,900 rounds a minute. The first trigger pull is 69 rounds, and every consecutive second is about 113. So all in all, we get about 10 seconds out of this. Contrary to a popular myth, I guess if you will, the plane does not slow down or fly backwards when you shoot the gun. This is equivalent to about 100 high-power rifles when you shoot it. So a normal rifle may have 2,000 to 3,000 foot-pounds of energy. This hits the ground with 155,000 foot-pounds of energy. So you definitely don't want to be on the other side. So the GAU-8 Avenger is comparable in size to a Volkswagen Bug. The drum starts right about here, and it's a gigantic drum that holds all 1,150 rounds, and it's a closed system, so as you shoot, the empty casings get spun back inside. So right here is where the mechanism starts, and the barrels start right about here. And also the thing that the A-10's got that makes it incredible in combat is we have a titanium bathtub the pilot sits in. It's about 1,500 pounds, it's 1.5 inches thick. We can take a direct hit from a 23 millimeter and glancing hits up to 57. The front windscreen is about 2.5 inches thick. It's also rated for a direct hit from a 23 millimeter. So this is the most rugged plane the Air Force has built in 60, 70 years.
So I'm going to tell you right now, that's pretty impressive. Although I see the pylons back there, can you show us what that's all about?
Yep, so we have 11 pylon hard points on the aircraft. We can walk over and we'll kind of talk about individual ones with different rails on them right now. So on the outside here, on this station we typically carry 2 AIM-9. That's our air-to-air complement. So we're not an air-to-air platform, but we have enough to maybe scare away an adversary. Moving one more pylon in. This is our lightning pod, so you can't see it now, but when it opens up, it's full of lenses. We use this for our targeting pod, and we also guide our laser munitions in with the laser equipped. This rail right here, we would keep an AGM-65, so depending upon the model, it's 125 or 250 pound air-to-ground missile. These are for tanks. Right now we're carrying the EO, so it's basically a TV camera, and we also have LMAV, which is a laser maverick. Like I said, more for targets, armored tanks and things like that. Right here we have the TUR. It's a triple ejector rack. And so what these will do is they'll hold 3 500-pound bombs apiece. We carry anything from Mark 82, so just a dumb bomb. We carry GBU-38s, which is a GPS-guided munition. GBU-54s, which is a GPS laser-guided updated munition. And we can also parent mount munition, so you can take the TUR down and put a 2,000-pound bomb on this thing right here. So going in, this right here is just a travel pod for the pilots to keep their luggage in. Nothing real exciting. We have a centerline pod that rarely gets used, depending upon the configuration. And as we come out here, you'll see that we mirror each of these pylons. So another AGM rail. Here would be a pod of rockets, so 7-by rockets, 2 3/4 inch. We have Willie Pete, and we also have laser guided rockets we use. And this pylon right here that's now empty would be our ECM pod, so electronic countermeasures for surface-to-air threats.
So if you've ever experienced listening to an A-10 fly, it's got a very unique sound with the turbofan engines. Aldo, can you tell us a little bit about the turbofans?
So the A-10 has 2 GE TF34 engines. They are an 80% high bypass engine, so it's a very cool exhaust. Provides us about 9,000 foot-pounds of thrust. If you're familiar with the CRJ, it's the same engine pack with slightly different exterior components. But very rugged. There's been several A-10s that have been shot up and lost an engine, and we'll get back with one. So you can fire the gun with one hydraulic system and at least some sort of electrical source. So very rugged. You can hit a bird and keep flying. Not that big of a deal. You can take plenty of combat damage. Very reliable, very rugged.
That was really cool, getting to see all the external features of this airplane. Now we're going to go up to one of my favorite places. We're going to go up to see what it's like to fly one of these. I'm going to tell you right now, guys, this is an awesome setup. Take a look at this. Aldo's going to show us some of the cool features, and I'm excited to share this with you guys.
All right, so it's the cockpit of the A-10 Charlie. Over on this panel, this is the left panel. Basically radio controls, 2 radios. This right here is if you take any sort of battle damage, you can hydraulically blow your speed brakes and ailerons if you need to. Pull it up, here's the throttles. Here's the fuel control system. Right here's the lever for the air-to-air refueling. Coming up in here, these are all the master arm and gun pack hot safe. So if you're going to arm your weapons, your left MFCD. This is the ALR, so that's just for ECM stuff. Clearly some 6-pack items here. The right MFCD. And here's both of our engine stacks. So nothing really digital in the A-10. And as you keep going around to the right, that's just our fuel indication. This right here is our EW system. And moving back, this right here is called our IGI, our CDU and our IGI. So what this does is basically our GPS. You see a full keyboard there. So you can either type things out on the keyboard, or we also have a UFCP up front, and you can punch in numbers and letters. If anybody's probably over about 35 or 40, you remember the old cell phones that text. If you want to type in an E, you got to hit letter, then you got to punch 2 3 times to get to echo. So it takes a hot minute to go ahead and type anything in, so most pilots will reach down there. While we're up here, this right here is the fire handles. So if you got any engine fire, they'll light up, and then you'll conduct the bold face and continue to fly. So looking down, so the A-10 so we've got parts from the F-16 and the F-15. So our throttles are F-15, stick is F-16, and you see all these buttons, they all do different things, and they all do different things in different modes. So this can be a very task saturating event if you don't know what you're doing. So the two big buttons here, clearly, the red pickle button. So this is for rockets, missiles, and bombs, and then underneath is the trigger. The trigger is a 2-position trigger.
So that's where all the magic happens.
That's where all the magic happens. So it's a 2-position trigger, pack 1. It slows down the flight controls to allow you to get a finer aim point. Then you pull it all the way in, and you can shoot the gun. We call this the whiskey compass because fighter pilots don't drink water. And when you shoot the gun, it looks like it boils, and it kind of spins. And then the G meter will peg down to about 12 G every time you shoot the gun.
How many Gs do you normally pull when you're flying this airplane?
So normally your safe escape is about 4.5 to 5 Gs. If you're doing air-to-air or BFM practice, you can pull upwards of 7. So usually on a normal sortie, you're not pulling more than 5. And like I said, BFM about 7, 7.3 is the most you'll pull. Another advancement upgrade to the avionics in the A-10 is the HIBIC system. It's a helmet-mounted cueing system. So what it allows us to do, if you look up there on the cockpit, the canopy, there's a bunch of, what those do is tell this camera on top of my helmet during a spatial orientation. It goes to this camera right here. And what it allows me to do is when the canopy's closed, I use this eyepiece right here called the Hobbit. And what it allows me to do is to see symbology for targets and friendlies and things like that. And you can look through the entire cockpit and still see them through the cockpit. So it gives you great SA on the target area and things like that. It also shows you where your other flight members are. If you happen to come off target and can't see them, you just look right through here. It also allows you to feed the TGP eyepiece of the targeting pod video into the eyepiece as well. So it gives you great situational awareness around the battlefield and other air players in your AO.
Hey Aldo, can you go tactical?
What's that?
Oh yeah, there you go.
There you go, yep.
That's called going tactical.
That's right.
Pretty cool. So Aldo, thanks so much for showing us around this awesome A-10 Warthog. It was a pleasure checking it all out, and I can't wait to see you guys demo this on Saturday here at Oshkosh.
Thanks very much. If the A-10 isn't your favorite plane, why not?
It has to be. It's a really great airplane. So anyway, guys, if you liked the video, please smash that thumbs up button. Subscribe to the channel. Also, I'll link the Air Force's recruiting page. If you think flying around would be something you'd want to do, be sure to go in the description below and check it out. Anyway, take care, and we'll talk to you again someday soon.
Hey, I can